Hi! In this video, I will be exploring the role that omega-3 fatty acids play in our diet and how potentially they can help lower our risk of cardiovascular disease. I'll work with you guys to present an exciting way to cook these foods and work on our heart health together. Before we investigate studies related to incorporating omega-3s, we will first go over the structure of fatty acids and what role they play in our metabolism and in our body in general. Fatty acids are a type of lipid, which are more commonly called fat, and they are composed of a carbon chain with a methyl and carboxyl group attached. Fatty acids serve as a source of energy and building blocks for many cellular structures. They help us form cellular membranes and signaling molecules. I'm sure that many of us have heard that we should be cautious about consuming some of these fatty acids, particularly trans fatty acids, which many are warned against. This type of saturated fat is usually produced through a process called hydrogenation, which makes the fatty acid more stable and more solid. However, we're going to focus on omega-3s in this video. And an omega-3 fatty acid is a long carbon chain with a double bond at the third position, and that's where we get its name from. It is an essential nutrient, meaning we have to eat it from food to fulfill our daily needs. We find these nutrients in foods like fatty fish, flax seeds, walnuts, and leafy green vegetables. Now that we have a bit of an understanding of what these omega-3s are made of, we can bring this back to our topic of cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is an umbrella term for any disease that affects the heart and blood vessels. These diseases have a big impact on our society as they have caused 371,506 deaths in the United States in 2022. These diseases can include coronary heart disease and a stroke. A way to potentially combat the risk of heart disease is incorporating these fatty acids into our diet more. This is because omega-3s help reduce inflammation and plaque buildup. They can also help lower blood pressure and improve overall heart functioning by lowering our LDL levels and raising HDL levels. To explore this idea, I found a research study that was conducted on dogs from the National Academy of Sciences in 1994. The dogs in the study first had a heart attack imposed on them, and while under, researchers implanted a cuff on their left artery to be able to control when blood was flowing to the artery to stimulate a heart condition. Overall, this study was trying to see if omega-3 acids could prevent a heart episode under stressful conditions when they received a treatment of omega-3 supplementation. The results of this study showed that 7 out of 8 of the dogs did not experience ventricular fibrillation during the test after having their omega-3 infusion. This helps us understand that the omega-3s help prevent another heart episode from occurring in these dogs. Another research study was conducted to help us understand how it's important to consume these omega-3s in our diet rather than revert to supplementation, which is often promoted but not as effective. This study included enrolling participants and randomly assigning them omega-3 supplementation or a placebo. They were then monitored over several years to track how they were doing if they experienced any cardiac events or cancer. The study found that there was not a significant reduction in the overall rate of major cardiovascular diseases. However, it was still associated with a lower risk of heart attacks, more specifically with the participants who had a lower fish consumption than others. Something interesting about this study is that it shows to me how supplementation in particular could be important for those who are not receiving their adequate amount in their diet of omega-3s. Now that we've had our fun learning about the science of nutrition, I'm now going to talk about some at-home recipes that incorporate omega-3s in a fun, healthy, and pretty simple way. The first recipe is a salmon bowl that is quick, easy, healthy, and incredibly fresh. It's teriyaki salmon that is cooked in the air fryer, which makes it very easy to do, set on a bed of rice, with avocado, cucumber, mango edamame, anything you want to top it with. And it is filled with omega-3s and carbs and healthy proteins. Another easy recipe to make is a good breakfast go-to for me, which is overnight oats using flaxseed and chia seeds along with oatmeal for that extra fiber and omega-3s that can help lower our cholesterol levels to be able to continue to enjoy the delicious and nutrient-dense foods that we all love. To make this recipe, I'm simply just going to explain it, and then I will link everything in the next slide. For the oats, I would combine half a cup of rolled oats, 1 cup of your milk of choice. I personally love almond milk, 2 teaspoons of flaxseed meal, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, 3/4 cup of Greek yogurt, and top it with some frozen berries. And I promise they defrost overnight and put in the fridge overnight. I like to top mine with a tablespoon or more of peanut butter or any nut butter you enjoy. Another recipe that I am excited to try is a Greek salad with edamame. And the reason I'm incorporating this one is because there's a lot of people out here that I know aren't big fish fans or maybe have different dietary restrictions. And so it's important to remember that anyone can enjoy omega-3s and should incorporate them as much as they can. So this is a Greek salad with edamame. It includes red wine vinegar, olive oil, salt, pepper, romaine, edamame, tomatoes, cheese, and basil. It's really simple, easy, and filling. The last recipe I will share is an alternative form of pesto made from avocados and includes walnuts as their source of omega-3s. This can be an allergy-friendly recipe for those allergic to pine nuts. It includes fresh basil, avocados, walnuts or hemp seeds, lemon juice, garlic, sea salt, and olive oil. And you can top this sauce over your favorite choice of carb. I hope you learned something from this video and that we can keep learning together about incorporating yummy and nutritionally dense meals for many years to come. Remember, we can use omega-3 diet incorporation to prevent the formation and progression of cardiovascular disease. Thank you so much for watching.